So welcome everybody. I'm going to give you a dozen tips here, and I'm going to start with the first one. Write in the chat for me real quick. I'm just very curious because I'm just an old dog, not a yellow dog Democrat, but just an old school salesperson. Tell me in the chat why you hate the telephone. I'm just curious because I had loved the telephone since I was 30 years old. It's made me more money than any other instrument in the world. Back to the old, like I can remember pulling over the side of the road and putting a quarter in the thing and making a sales call on a payphone. You don't even know what that is, Monica. Have you ever seen a payphone, Monica? Anyway, right in there. Awkward pause. Let's see. Too many spam calls. Multitasking. Come on, give me some better reasons. I'm using it. Love the telephone. Don't like the computer. Very good. Rude behavior. Most people don't answer. Okay. All right, so let me address these real quick. I'm going to give you two ways to feel better about using the telephone. No matter what you've ever sold before in your past, there was always a lot of competition. Give me a thumbs up if you disagree. I don't care what you were calling for your whole life. If you're a business coach, there's tons of competition. If you're a sales trainer, there's tons of competition. God knows if you're doing ERC, or how many calls do you get for oh, I can help you get a tax credit today. How many calls do you get for home warranty? I mean, that's the reason I don't like using the phone if I was in any of those industries. But in your industry, most of y'all owned a business. Amy, come off of mute. I'm going to ask you a question real quick. How many phone calls since y'all owned Entree Results have you ever gotten from a salesperson in the world asking if you want to join a networking group? Ed, you've owned a pest control company, you own Kilts with Stilts or whatever. Nobody ever, no business person you ever come across has ever gotten a phone call, unless it's from you, about joining a networking group. Well, now, why does that make a difference, Monica? Because you're unique, and so they're going to have a second to listen to you. And then if you use our script, which is quite simple, I don't care what order you use it in, but write this down. Get these 3 points out of your mouth as fast as you possibly can. Number one, you own a business right down the street from them. Debbie Dykes is north of Houston in Conroe. This cracks me up every time I say it, one of the fastest places growing in the world, faster than where you are, Scott Marker. If you come from Houston, you would laugh knowing what Conroe was 30 years ago. But today, it's everybody's little garden spot. And so no one in Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe has ever been called about networking. So that makes it very easy. Debbie just says, hey, Monica, I own a business right down the street from you. When the person hears owner, they pause, because it's not like a salesperson that, okay, I better pay attention because this guy may want to do business with me, or this gal. So I own a business right down the street from you. Most important thing, get out of your mouth. Number two, vanity advertising. I am building a group with the best XYZ in the area. I'm looking for the best business coach, the best CPA, the best sales trainer. I'm looking for the best. That buys you another second, because who doesn't want to be considered the best? And then you have to say, we're going to meet monthly, and I'd like to see if you'd like to visit. So if you hate the telephone, make that call at 7 o'clock at night. Moose. Tell him what you say. His is even simpler. I can go with one of these two, short and sweet. And his Wi-Fi just went out now.
So back in my radio days, there were 5,000 radio reps calling on businesses, and I was just like, hey, Bill, this is Moose with KILT 610 Sports Radio. I was thinking about you. I got a great idea I'd like to share with you. When you have time, give me a call back. I
have a great idea. I'd like to get you to call me back. It's intriguing. So if you don't like mine, try that one. It's obviously worked. He's got 8 or 90 members, over 8 years. So it obviously works. I would just encourage you to revisit your mental mindset around the phone. Look at the script. Recognize that the people have never heard from your industry. They're likely to take your phone call because you're an owner. And then lastly, if you want to get that phone call returned, so tip number one is to revisit the way you feel about the phone and see if you get, because it's the fastest way to build a group. You will never get anyone to argue with me about that other than Charles, and they're not building a group, they're building 13. So they couldn't possibly use the telephone to recruit, all these people in 13 groups. All right. Second thing, who wants their phone call returned more often? Give me a thumbs up. This is easy. Lead with a question. Write that down, please. Lead with a question. Hey, Monica, I know you help people sell businesses, but do you help people buy businesses as well? You're dealing with your business broker. Amy's a business coach. Amy, I know you guys do coaching, but do y'all also look for opportunities to speak in public? Joe Jester, CPA. Joe, I see on your website you're a CPA, but I was wondering if y'all have bookkeeping services too. Ed Hamilton, pest control. Ed, I know you do pest control, it looks like from your website, but do you also do like helping people get rid of rats and animals in their house? Think of some question to ask. Financial services. Do you do 401k and individual finances? They're going to return your phone call. Now, the first thing you think, and I know I got two former sales trainers on here, Debbie and Sarah. I know the first thing you think is you want to be in integrity. Well, don't I need a 401k person and a financial services? Don't I need a CPA and a bookkeeper? So as soon as Joe calls me back, I'm going to explain that. Okay. So if you want to get more phone calls, if you want to grow your group faster, get comfortable with the telephone. It's tip number one. Tip number two, if you want to get more calls returned, lead with a question. Number three, let's talk about the guaranteed ROI. We talked about it briefly yesterday, but I want to mention it again. It's worth mentioning. I learned this very recently in the last few weeks, and I love it when I was on the Sandler sales training guide. He doesn't like the way we lead with the guaranteed ROI, where we ask you, Dan Frano, what is a customer worth to you? And you say XYZ, and I say, okay, we're going to guarantee you $19,000. Tweak that a little bit. So Joe, come off of mute for me. Joe's never heard of Network in Action. I'm giving him a presentation. He's a CPA, and I say, Joe, you've been in business 20-something years. You've probably spent a couple of grand on marketing. What would really get you excited in terms of a return on a $2,000 investment?
I'd be happy to make my money back.
Okay, now watch this. Watch how important that is. That's really cool, Joe. So making your money back is a couple grand, so you could get really excited over 10 grand, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, watch this. And then I plug in what's an average customer worth to you, and it says 20 grand. That is a much better way than just plugging in the amount. So tip number three is before you get to show them the guaranteed ROI that we're going to show them, ask them what would get them excited. I doubt you're going to have anybody that gives you a 10-time number, but let's find out over the next month or two. Give me a thumbs up if you're willing to tweak that a little bit. All right, awesome. Tip number four, on Network in Action, under Community Builder. And don't think you're too big for your britches. I don't care if you're Charles Houseman and you've sold 1 million members, or if you're brand spanking new. Don't be afraid to go right here and look at the tips. So if you're going to see an IT person, all you have to do is click on video industry sales tips.
We're not seeing anything if we're supposed to see.
Thank you very much. This is my first Zoom I've ever done. I thank you so much for helping me. Okay, so under Community Builder, right here, text messaging. All you have to do, videos. All you have to do is click on videos. You're going to see an IT company. Scroll down here, take 1 minute and 36 seconds to watch this video with me talking about special things you can say to an IT company. Now, we don't have every industry here. We have a bunch of them. We're always adding. So if you're calling on a mortgage company, click on this 1 minute video. Just try it for 3 weeks. These are pertinent tips, things you can say to people in the mortgage industry that are different. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you're willing to take 1 minute and listen to a tip before you go on your next appointment, or just check and make sure it's here. All right. That's under videos. Tip number 5, there's nothing you can do when somebody makes an objection better than showing them a testimonial right at that time. So all you do, there's 2 different ways to do it. I'll show you both. One is you can come right here to videos and click on member testimonials, and I go right down to that IT company, and I'll say, well, take a look at what this guy said. And I go to IT, and they're right there. Boom. Good member in Austin, 32 seconds. Now, you know, they're also at the back of the presentation, Intro to NIA. So when you go to the very end of the presentation, so usually when someone raises an objection, most inexperienced salespeople start to melt. And yet a great fisherman or fisherwoman or fisher person, whatever we say nowadays, understands that an objection is really when you put your sales hat on, it's time to start the sales process, because they're going to give you a reason why you want to go further. So here is a place where you can type in the type of category. And I encourage you to do this right there in front of them. And while Kathy Reinhold or Amy or whoever else we have here, Jared, is talking, you have a chance to recoup. So watch this. They've thrown you a curveball. You swung and missed, right? They didn't buy from you on your first offer. Show them a presentation of a testimonial of somebody that's been in networking action. Now that might be 1.5, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. You've got a chance to recoup. Oh, by the way, Monica, I noticed you don't have a Google My Business page. And go back at them with RepMan.
Mhm.
All right. So use your testimonial tips. They're in 2 places under Community Builder tab, as well as at the end of Intro to NIA. Next tip, write this down. Have you ever seen, anyone ever seen our YouTube channel? Anyone ever seen our YouTube channel? And if I was you, I would download it, YouTube Network in Action, and I would bookmark it. And sometimes we come across people, Julie, who you can just sort of sense they're skeptical. You know, I'm in Colorado, I haven't heard of Network in Action. Are you sure this is going to work? If you notice somebody's skeptical, just go to the YouTube channel and start scrolling down and saying, this is not an experiment. We're 9 years in now. You think all of these businesses making mistakes? That's very, very, very powerful. A visual, because what people are afraid of when you're presenting to them, they're afraid they're about to make a mistake, right? They don't want to make a mistake. That's why people don't buy. And if they're spending their boss's money, it's even more important because they don't want to lose their job. But typically you're calling on owners and decision makers, and they just don't want to throw away their good hard-earned money. So the power of showing them all of the different people who've given a testimonial, you know, these aren't all of our members, by the way, Dr. Roundtree. These are just the people who've given some testimonials here recently, and it's very impressive. It's a huge list. So bookmark our YouTube channel. All right. I don't know how often you're doing this, but if you're in front of someone and again, you want to show the power of network in action, go to find a member. This is the next one. And so if I'm calling on a business coach, I just want to type in business coach and be ready to also type in business consultant and say, Joe, you know, I don't have to do business with you. My family's going to eat one way or the other, but I'd really like to help your business. And scroll down. Sorry, got to find the right thing. So I'm looking by profession, going too fast here. Business coach. So just make sure that you click on profession, hit business coach, and all the business coaches are going to pop up. You can also type in business consultants. So when I'm in front of someone and I'm just looking for something to do after they've told me no, and I've already played them a testimonial, go look at the advanced search and search by profession. If you're calling on a company, and you can do your homework ahead of time, it's popular, you know, say, listen, don't take my word for it. Look how many Edward Jones financial agents we have in this organization. So that's the next tip. Use the search bar to find a member, but a little hint here, do that ahead of time. Make sure you know where you're headed with that. It's like the old OJ trial where you don't ask the question you don't know the answer to. If the glove doesn't fit. Okay, so make sure you know your strengths here before you go. So show the number of members by profession and show the number of members by company name if that's applicable. All right, a lot of people ask me about emails. I don't send emails, but if I'm going to send an email, then I want to send one of these emails right here when I finish the call. So I finish the call. They tell me they want me to get back with them in a couple of days. I can just click on one of these videos. They're 1 minute, copy and paste, copy that and say, Moose, I know you're thinking about this overnight, and I'd like to just give you one more thing to think about. Here's a short video. So use these testimonial videos at the bottom of the intro to NIA. All right. The next thing takes a good 45 seconds. How many people would be willing to spend 45 seconds if it was going to help them get a sale? Give me a thumbs up. I mean, this is just being a professional. This is just being a pro. If you go on a sales call and you have not checked to see if they have a Google My Business page, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Number two, if you don't take one more second and click on the number of reviews and go into that appointment knowing how many reviews they have, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And if you don't click on the last review and see how long ago it was, you're doing yourself a disservice. So Sarah, I noticed y'all have a Google My Business page, and wow, y'all have 45 Google reviews. Congratulations. What happened, Sarah? The last one was 6 months ago. In Google's eyes, that's not so good. So I want to help you. And here's how I help you. What is your mobile number, Sarah? And I do the thing right there. Now, how many people, Sarah, do you think you'd go out and give you 5-star reviews in the next 30 days if you had the ability to text them? Boom, you're going to create a sale. So I'll give you an example right now. I'm about to go on an appointment. Not a Zoom, it's an actual appointment. So I'll just show you how long it takes. I want to look up Laura. Let's see the name of this company. It's Join Real Realty. How long did that take me? The Realty Brokers. I suppose this is her. She has 22 reviews. Great. I can go in and say that. I can go and tell her what a great job she's doing. And I can click on these reviews and see when the last one was. Any questions about that? Very simple to do. All right, moving on here. If you feel like someone's being skeptical about the success or your potential success, go to the front of the site and show them the totality of the company. Hey, these are just a few of the places our franchise there, because some of the franchises still haven't given us addresses. So sidebar, if you don't see your franchise on here or your groups, please give Denise an address. But if you just go here, even without scrolling out, you know, you can show like, wow, this is the real meal deal. You know, this is not an experiment. So show the front of the map. Okay. One more thing. I love this, and I use this almost every appointment. Y'all can see my screen, right?
No.
No.
Ah, come on. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Going too fast here. Trying to get under 10 minutes. Okay, so what you want to do is go to the front of the site and show the map. So if you're all alone up there in Washington, Monica, and you feel like that people aren't trusting you or aren't believing what you're saying, say, listen, this has been around 9 years, and we've 350 groups around the country and South America. You know, I only have one spot, Monica. I would think you'd want to grab it. So show this page. I love doing this, and I do this all the time. And you can do it at any hour of the night. I go right over here and I show what I call our little Twitter feed. Call it what you want, our NIA feed. You know, Monica, this works so well that there are people active and involved and connecting all day long, every day. And I come right here and I go, look at this. This is all, and I just start scrolling down. I go, these are all members who are doing something just in the last 30 minutes. All day long, people are involved and interacting with Network in Action. Because what you're trying to do at the end of the day is substantiate your credibility in your marketplace that you've got something that's a real meal deal. And just because it's different doesn't mean it doesn't work. Okay? So show them the activity on the side of the site. And then my favorite thing to do, if you want to sit one place with somebody, come up with a story. You need a story. This is number 12. You need a story right here. Make sure you have one if you don't have one. But after I've shown them all these benefits, at this point, after 9 years, I have all kinds of stories. Get your own story. So Joe, I don't know if you heard the story, but Bill Gates with Microsoft's first big contract came when his mom referred some person on a board she was on, all through networking. I have a member, and then tell your story. So Monica, what could one relationship be worth to you? And let them sit and talk about it. I am confident if you follow those 12 tips, you will bring on more members easier with less energy, which at the end of the day, I know that is what all you want. And that's what I want for you. Have a great day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all.